nice, but what is it like to travel by train in the Netherlands? And what rolling stock is used? Come with me on a tour through the Netherlands, where I will show you all the train types, as we will travel on different Dutch passenger trains. Our first train of today is an ICMm, which stands for Intercity Rolling Stock Modernized. This train is perhaps the most iconic type of train that can be found on the Dutch railways, and they were built between 1984 and 1993 by Talbot in Aachen. To make it possible to walk between the different train sets, the walk-through head was invented. When two trains were coupled together, the hatches at the head could open and a walkway could be made. This required the driver's gap to be moved upwards, which created this iconic head. Unfortunately, this system was very prone to failure, so these walk-through heads were taken out of service during the renovation of the trains in the late 2000s. The trains come in sets of 3 and 4 parts. The first class has white red seats in a 2+1 arrangement. The second class consists of blue seats in a 2+2 arrangement. By many people, including me, this train is seen as the most comfortable. This makes it all the more unfortunate that they have started phasing out the first rail cars this year. Luckily, the last one will only be phased out in 2026. The trains do have toilets, are operated by Dutch Railways, the company, and there are in total 137 of them. So we have arrived at Zwolle station. To rate this train, I will give it an 8 because it's very comfortable, but it's sometimes a little bit disgusting in the past. Now we go with a GTW to Marienberg. This is a very different interior. This train is operated by Arriva under the name of Blauwnet. The train type itself comes in all kinds of different colors and interiors in different places in the Netherlands. And they are operated by Arriva, Connection and Cubus. There are diesel and electric variants. The trains were built between 2006 and 2013. Well, what do you think of this train?
It sits not very comfortable.
And what would you rate it?
Rate it from 1 to 10, I will give it a 5.
And with that, we concluded that we should change trains again. So here you see that this train has a toilet, and we arrive at
Marienberg. Station Marienberg.
So here we're gonna change to a LINT train, also run by Arriva. The trains were built between 2001 and 2005 by Alstom Transport, and LINT stands for Leichte Innovative Nahverkehrstriebwagen, which stands for Lightweight Innovative Local Rail Car.
Hello.
Everything is fine until the train starts moving and you hear how much noise it makes. And when you see how thin the doors are, you understand that it's called lightweight. I really like that we are almost alone in this train. So we have our personal train. Yeah. So this is the second class, which is bad. And this is the first class, which is worse than bad. So we arrived at Almelo and now we're gonna take the FLIRT to Hengelo. But first we saw an intercity train from Berlin to Amsterdam. This international train consists of a locomotive from the country where it is traveling in, with a row of German railcars behind it. These are very comfortable trains, but unfortunately we are not taking these today. Instead we have a FLIRT, which stands for Flinke Leichte Innovative Regionaltriebzug, which stands for Large Light Innovative Regional Train. Just like the GTW, these trains can be found in all kinds of colors and interiors. And there are also diesel variants, but they are called Wink. The trains were built between 2015 and 2018, and this one is operated by Keolis. What do you think of these chairs?
Well, the seat, yeah, it is very nice. It's very cool. Nice colors with all the seats, and it fits. I will give it a 7 from 1 to 10.
A 7?
A 7. Yeah, it sits better than the train from Zwolle to Marienberg.
Well, I give it still a 5. This is the first class, which is not very good. I give it a 6.5. What also struck me were those many doors that I found rather annoying. And of course the toilet was broken again. Coincidence? I don't think so. So we arrived at Hengelo and we're gonna change to the LINT to Zutphen. Here we are again. What a noise. Difference is that this train is from Keoli. And there is carpet that's often loose.
It's very, very bad.
Leg room is basically non-existent. On the plus side, there is a toilet. We're going to change to the GTW to Apeldoorn. We've already had this type of rolling stock, but the difference is that it is red and has a different interior. GTW stands for Gelenktriebwagen, which stands for Articulated Railcar, and they were built by Stadler. Another difference is that this one runs on diesel and the previous one was electric. What do you think of the seating comfort in this train?
I think it's actually great. I like to sit here, yes. 8 out of 10.
And we arrived at Apeldoorn with the GTW and we're gonna change trains here to a DDZ. But for this we had to wait a while, so we sat down and lay down. Ah, there it is already. This is a DDZ, which stands for Double-Decker Zuining, and is operated by the Dutch Railways, the company. The trains were built between 1984 and 1986 and renovated between 2006 and 2014. The train was very crowded, so I tried to film something, but it didn't really work. The train does have a toilet, but it was broken. No worries though, soon we will have one again. At least that's what we hoped. So we just arrived at Amersfoort and we're gonna change trains to this little thing, which is a PROTOS. Well, pay attention, there are only 5 of these type of trains in the world, and all 5 run on the only connection train line in the Netherlands. The trains were built in 2007 by Vaartuigtechniek Dessau. There are 2 benches in the front of the train, which is almost like a lift room, so let's drink a cup of tea. Perfect.
Station Barneveld Noord.
Okay, let's take a break. If you're still watching, chances are you're a train enthusiast. Check out my Train Spotters channel, link in Cave Trains, where you can see all the extra scenes and other train videos. Link is in the description. And don't forget to subscribe. Let's get on the train again. The funny thing about this line is that it goes right through the heart of Ede. Before you arrive at the end of the line, Ede-Wageningen.
Perfect.
Then we saw a FLIRT from the Dutch Railways, the company, coming. So this is the interior. So here you have the first class. Pretty comfortable. I will give it a 7.5. But this door is very weird. It's a little bit hard on the back, but like a 7. Here, the toilet. So, that was the FLIRT. Now to the VIRM. With 176 trains, this is the most common type of intercity rolling stock in the Netherlands. VIRM stands for Extended Interregional Rolling Stock, which means that this train was intended for the interregional service, an intermediate form between the intercity and the sprinter that never came. The trains were built between 1991 and 2009. There are 4 generations, of which some are modernized trains. This means there are all kinds of different interiors and exteriors. On the outside they are easy to recognize. The unrenovated ones have a continuous blue bar at the top. First generation modernized trains have a continuous blue bar at the bottom. And the other modernized trains are so-called flow VIRMs. So the train we are now in is a renovated VIRM. So this seating comfort I will probably give a 7 out of 10. It's a little bit hard. This train is a double-decker train, so this is the ground floor. The train also has a toilet, but I forgot to show it in the 7-kilometer ride to Veenendaal de Klop. Now we change to a little bus ride to Veenendaal Centrum. And we're back on track with the SLT. The SLT was built between 2009 and 2012 with no toilet. And look, there is a toilet! These toilets were later installed between 2018 and 2021. Because in 2011 it was decided that from 2025 every train must have a toilet on the main rail network. Just like the previous train, this train is operated by the Dutch Railways, the company. The difference is that this is a sprinter, a train that stops at every station. What do you think of the seats here?
It's not one of the best. I will give it a 6.
Personally, I really like that the trains are so open and light inside. Like all other sprinters of the Dutch Railways, the company, and all trains of other operators, this train has a level boarding. Well, we arrived at Rhenen and now we're gonna have a short trip with the bus to Kesteren. But first we filled our water bottles at the public water taps that you can find at some stations in the Netherlands. This bus crosses the river Nederrijn to go to Kesteren station. A railway line used to be here, but the bridge over the river was damaged beyond repair in 1944 and then rebuilt for motor traffic only. And we have arrived at Kesteren, which has a little bit an abandoned feeling to it. Then we had another GTW from Arriva to Tiel and another SLT to Geldermalsen, where we saw this G2W of Qbus. After which we took another SLT towards 's-Hertogenbosch, from where we saw a freight train driving on the Betuwe route. 's-Hertogenbosch! Here we take the DDZ again. Luckily, it's a bit quieter now. Striking are the very wide doors of almost 2 meters. This helps a lot with getting travelers on and off quickly at stations. The chairs were already occupied, so we are now sitting on the lounge sofa that is part of the interior. I give it a 7.
You're sure?
I'm sure.
I will give it an 8. It's very good to sit there for a long journey.
So do they match you?
The trains come in sets of 4 and 6 and have one motor car with only a top floor that has seats. When you sit at the other end of the train, you don't hear anything from the engine, making it incredibly quiet. In 2021, the trains were taken out of service for a year due to vibrations, which turned out to be caused by the brakes. But the train has been running again for 6 months now. We are now in Breda, where we have the 2-minute transfer on the last train of today, the Traxx. For this train we have to pay a surcharge of €2.56. This is because we are travelling on the high-speed line between Rotterdam and Schiphol Airport. However, the section of the high-speed line between Breda and Rotterdam is surcharge free. As I said before, I will make a separate video for this high-speed line someday, where I will explain this in great detail. And we got the train. I've never been to Breda, but I have to say I was amazed by the beauty and the history of the city. I definitely recommend taking a walk there yourself.
This is the Intercity direct to Rotterdam Central direct to Schiphol Airport and then the call at Schiphol Airport direct to the terminal station Amsterdam Central. Wish you a pleasant journey.
This train consists of 2 Traxx locomotives at the front and back with a number of ICRm carriages in between. These carriages are very similar to the ICMm train, the first train of this tour. This combination has been running on the high-speed line and a number of lines around it since 2014. In the past, these carriages only had one locomotive, and it could be controlled on the other side with this control car. This is no longer possible with the Traxx locomotives. So we made it to the Intercity direct. We have a complete coupe for ourselves. Just like with the ICMm, this train also has reading lines. Doet niet! So now we are on the high speed line, and this is such a stable railway track. You can drink a cup of tea without any problems. And if you have to go to the toilet afterwards, there is this little toilet on board. Because this track is built for high speeds, the train tilts quite a bit in the curves. So now we are in the tunnel under Rotterdam City. I have a video about this, so check this one out after this video.
Station Rotterdam Central.
Jammer, heel jammer.
This train has a top speed of 160 km an hour, making it the fastest train of the Dutch railways, the company. However, the high-speed line is built for a minimum speed of 220 km an hour, and it appears that the Traxx trains cause damage to the tracks. Partly because of this, they will be replaced by the ICNGs. These are expected to be introduced in 2023. However, they are already driving around for test drives. Now we have arrived at Schiphol Airport. This was the last real train, and now we go with the SNG, that stands for Sprinter New Generation. These things have been running since 2018, have a toilet and are operated by the Dutch railways. Well, what is the seat comfort here?
This is better than that.
Very bad.
It is bad, but I can still sit for a journey for 1 minute.
A rating out of 10?
3.
3.
A 4.
I agree with the 3. And so we got off at Amsterdam South and took the metro to Amsterdam Central. Here we find the Thalys to Paris and the Eurostar to London, both of which run over the high speed line. The ICEs to Germany, the Intercity Berlin and the Nightjet to South Germany, Switzerland and Austria are also here. Unfortunately, this video is already way too long, so let me know if you want a separate video of these trains. The same applies to the regional international trains, so let me know in the comments. Did you like this video? Like, subscribe and check out my second channel with all the extra scenes. See you next time.